Okay. I'd like to reconvene the Board of Trustees meeting, call to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Student Trustee Lomeli is there. Oh, his flag's over there. Okay. Yes, please. No, I was just calling you to make sure you were paying attention.
All right, right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm not sure about that one. It's not.
Okay, item 2.4, report on closed session items.
Excuse me, Dr. Baxter, roll call.
Oh, roll call. How do I miss that? Roll call. 2.3.
Virginia Baxter,
Here.
Jeff Kellogg, Vivian Malauulu,
Here.
Doug Otto,
Here.
Sunny Zia,
Here.
and Student Trustee Lomeli.
Okay, now report on closed session items. The board voted in closed session to ratify the settlement agreement for contract number 99742.5 as shown in item 5.17 by a vote of 4 approve, 1 nay. Now, approval of the minutes from the December 13th meeting. May I have a,
So moved.
okay, it's been moved and seconded. Moved by Zia, seconded by Kellogg. Call the roll, please. Yes.
Jeff Kellogg. Vivian Malauulu,
Aye.
Doug Otto,
Aye.
and Sunny Zia.
Aye.
Okay, introduction, special announcements. And the President Gable.
Yes, we have a couple introductions that we would like to make tonight. First off, you'll notice a new face sitting up here at the dais. Her name is Dr. Elizabeth Miller. She is our interim Vice President of Administrative Services, who will be filling in until I go back to my old position. So Dr. Miller comes with us with vast amount of experience. Most recently, she spent 23 years at Allen Hancock College as their vice president. She retired about 2 years ago, so we're fortunate to have her come out of retirement and be with us tonight. We'd like to welcome Dr. Miller. And then one other introduction that we would like to make is we have a new Dean of Student Affairs, Ramon Knox. Ramon, would you like to stand and be recognized? Ramon's been with us about a month now, and so after the position had been vacant for quite some time, so we're pleased to have Ramon here with us. And then lastly, the other announcement I would like to make is Pat McKean has his journalism class here tonight. Pat, do you want to say anything or just sit and watch?
Very briefly, thank you very much, President Gable, and best of luck. I think in your first official meeting as acting president, wish you well, and I'm so glad to see the board meeting at the Pacific Coast campus. I know that it took a lot of work by Jackie and her staff and everybody else to make that happen. Really pleased to have my news writing students here during a fast-moving winter class of 4.5 weeks. They're situated in groups of 2 or 3 students to cover different segments of the meeting tonight. Thank you for your help after the meeting or perhaps in the next few days by email and phone as they meet a deadline of next Tuesday. Also, we understand your meetings go about 3 hours according to student trustee Lomeli and his visit to our class yesterday. And so if that goal is great, it fits right into with our time frame because we canceled our morning class today. But at 8:15 or so, we will exit stage right that way, even if you're still here. So thank you for understanding our schedule. Thank you again, and I appreciate the students' extra effort to be here on a nighttime class at this campus. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, I noticed someone else, and I don't know if he left the room or not, but I wanted to acknowledge Gus Orozco. Gus, are you still here? Yeah, stand up, stand up. Gus was introduced at Mayor Garcia's State of the City address, and he was acknowledged as being a graduate of Long Beach City College and now at Cal State Long Beach. And I just wanted to say how proud we are of you, or I should say that I am of you, and thank you for coming tonight. Are you taking a news writing class? I'm not, I'm just here visiting. Okay, very good. Well, congratulations. You also had a wonderful column written about him by Rich Archbold.
Madam Chair?
And, oh yes, and Gus is a former student trustee. Yes.
Madam Chair, I would just like to take one moment to say thank you to Acting President Anne-Marie Gable and also Jackie Hahn, and especially the entire audio-visual team that's here for making this meeting happen. I was really pushy with them, trying to get a meeting on this campus, and I got here a little early, and I saw how hard they were working, setting up the tables, the chairs, the audio, the mics. It was not an easy task. I understand that it got a little bit easier from how they used to be in the past, and hopefully when QQ, when building QQ is up and running, it will be a lot more feasible. But I would like to welcome everybody who's here, staff and students in the community with the PCC campus for being here. I don't know that we can do it again anytime soon, but hopefully we'll have I know they're all like, no, it was a lot of work. But I'm happy to see you guys here, and when QQ opens up, it'll be easier for them to put it together. So I would like to say thank you for having the meeting here.
Very good, thank you. Now, reordering the agenda.
President Baxter, I'd like to request to reorder 11.4 and hear LBCC FA bargaining president first before we proceed with the rest of the agenda.
Yes,
I'm supportive.
I am too. Okay, Janae, LBCCFA?
Thank you so much. I have a sick child at home, so thank you for honoring my request. Good evening and happy 2017. It's good to be back at PCC for a board meeting. It's been quite a long time since you met over here. So I'm completing 2 winter session courses. We have a week and a half to go, so it's busy time for those of us that are teaching over winter session. And I know our faculty are looking forward to starting our spring semester, getting our syllabi ready and gearing up with our energy. So right around the corner for the spring. Several LBCC FA faculty attended the Women's March in LA over the weekend, and some attended the Women's March in Washington, D.C. So it's really encouraging to see our faculty engaged in the greater political landscape. Let's see, we are also looking forward to our continued negotiations this spring, and we are obviously working on our new contract. Our current one expires June 2017, so we look forward to continued negotiations with the district. And I also want to thank our English and reading faculty who came out tonight to attend the board meeting, so thank you for being here. And I also want to thank the board for item 4.2 on the agenda, which is the resolution in support of our DACA students. The Union LBCCFA over the last couple of rep council meetings has come up with a resolution, and we have sent that to you all to take that action on the part of the board. So I'm very encouraged to see the resolution 4.2. Just one request of an addition to the language. Let me find it here on my phone if I can. So some colleagues sent this to me earlier in the day. So I don't know if we can put that up there, but anyway, it's the resolution where it's the first resolved. So the request is that where it reads resolved, that the Board of Trustees and the district consider, that you add a language after consider to add and act in accordance with. So the request from faculty is to add that language to read, resolve that the Board of Trustees and the district consider and act in accordance with the values of the district identified in the strategic plan, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a few words there that some faculty asked to be added. And again, thank you so much for your leadership on item 4.2. Thank you.
I got it.
I don't.
Okay, Janae, could you please repeat
Read that again? Okay. So I'm in the resolution towards the end where it's the first paragraph with resolved at the beginning. So it says resolved that the Board of Trustees and the district consider, and then adding, after consider, adding and act in accordance with. Okay, so it would read, a request, resolve that the Board of Trustees and the district consider and act in accordance with the values of the district. Okay? Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, ASB President's Report.
Hello, it's on. Hello, good evening, board. Hope you all had a wonderful break. The ASB cabinet has moved its meeting time for the spring 17 semester. They will be held on Thursdays at 5 p.m. instead of the normal Friday mornings at 8:30 to encourage more student participation. We will provide each of you with a list of the exact locations where we'll meet if you would ever like to stop by. The cabinet will be getting together the next 2 Fridays for training and planning. Highlights will include a meeting with the new Dean of Student Affairs, Ramon Knox, a meeting with City Hall with the Mayor of Long Beach and his Chief of Staff, and an update on the ASB budget. During this winter session, a new task force has started to meet about updating the campus smoking regulations at Long Beach City College, as we all know that we got that grant, which has received a grant from the Truth Initiative to attempt to reduce the tobacco use of college students. The Board of Trustees will be presented with the task force findings. Talks continued in January with Long Beach Transit to establish a more user-friendly bus pass system at a reduced cost. Our student trustee will keep you posted on that. Lastly, Student Life is putting on its finishing touches on the master calendar filled with a bunch of events that ASB and Student Life are planning, and we'll share it with you as soon as we get it, so hopefully we can see you there as well. And one last thing, we're having an event on Friday, February 10th. It's Coaches versus Cancer. Student Life and the Athletics are teaming up for a night of fundraising and support. The men's game is at 5, and the women's is at 7 versus LA Southwest. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, public comments on agenda items. A total of 3 minutes will be allotted to each speaker with a maximum of 20 minutes unless extended by the board president. And we have one speaker, Jonathan Solizano, on agenda item 4.2. Jonathan, may I ask, since you didn't check it out, oh, you're an other, okay. So maybe you should explain what other means.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, your choice was staff, student, or other.
community member.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Jonathan Solorzano. I'm actually an alumni from Long Beach City College and a recent college graduate from Cal State LA. So I'm here today to speak about the resolution that's being proposed in support of the DACA students and the Dreamers here at Long Beach City College. While I was here, I was actually the president of the Coalition for Latino Advancement, which is an undocumented student support group here on this campus. And for a really long time, actually, they actually did a lot of the support for these students where they went out and looked for resources. They became a support group for many of the students who outside of their home didn't really have anyone to share this experience with. And to see that 10 years later, the school leadership is taking a stand on this and is looking to further support these students, I think is a great thing. And I definitely encourage you all to not only support this tonight, but take a step further and continue that involvement with those students, because as we know, these are difficult times for this very, very delicate and what's the word? It's a population that's in a lot of danger, and I would like to see you all continue supporting them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have a presentation on student health services.
We would like, third time. We'd like to start with the presentation with a video.
My name is Ginny Duravage, and I'm the Director of Student Health Services at Long Beach City College. When you registered for classes, you were asked to pay a student health fee, which probably annoyed you, and you're most likely wondering, what do I get out of this? Your student health fee is your ticket to free and confidential health care and mental health services on both Long Beach City College campuses. It's like having a doctor's office right outside your classroom. Our professional nursing staff can treat common colds and flus, test for STIs and pregnancy, and provide birth control and other health care education. Physical exams, lab work, and prescriptions are the best consumer deals you'll get when compared to other doctors' offices. We even have over-the-counter nutrition for students who are hungry. Figuring out how to manage the new stress of academic life on top of working, raising a family, living with parents, or struggling to find a place to sleep can at times feel overwhelming. Our licensed mental health professionals are here to support you, providing understanding and effective coping strategies to help you feel more in control of your life. We offer up to 6 free sessions a semester, whether you're enrolled in 1 course or 4. Why do we do it? Because your good health is our mission. You're doing everything you can to be in school, and we want to do everything we can to keep you here, healthy and successful. So remember, whether you are dealing with a sore throat or a broken heart, you don't have to go through it alone. At Student Health Services, we've got your back. For more information, just give us a call at 562-938-4210. Hello,
Good evening, board, and thank you so much for your work, and Happy New Year to everyone. I'm so delighted to join Long Beach City College. I'm joined here with a couple of my colleagues who will speak to you a little bit about our health services here at Long Beach City College. It's the first time that we've been able to combine our primary care and our mental health under one roof, so that no matter where the student goes, whether it's on the PCC campus or the LAC campus, they can receive the same type of great service. Joined with me tonight is Dr. Amy Liu. She is our licensed psychologist who oversees all our mental health practices. And we also have Marianne, I'm going to try this last name, Palacio, and she's our nurse practitioner who oversees both campuses' information as well. Not only do we have primary care services on both campuses, we also have our mental health services, education, and community outreach. And we provide that service through our community connections. So I'll bring Anne Marie up to provide some information.
While you're doing that, you know, I used to teach class, and the front row is for the A students. So if any of you would like to come forward and sit in the front row, Camille. Okay, you get an A. The rest of them flunk.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Marianne Palacios, and I'm the nurse practitioner for both PCC and LAC, and I wanted to review a little bit about the things that we typically see in our student health services. A lot of what we see are urgent care appointments, for example, urinary tract infections, asthma, respiratory diseases, as well as we do pregnancy testing quite a bit, a lot of reproductive health, nutrition and disease consultations, and we do a lot of physicals, and some of the primary disease processes that we see are hypertension, diabetes that are undiagnosed yet, and we can provide them with identification, referrals, education to get them into a primary care situation outside of our services here. So we do quite a few referrals as well to our community. The next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Thank you. And our total appointments for the fall of 2015 were 1,516. Following that, in the spring of last year, 2016 was 2,055. And total appointments for this past fall was 2,455, with an increase of 57% over the fall of the previous year. So It's nice to see that we're having more patients coming in, more students coming in, and a lot of it is by word of mouth, friend to friend. That's how we're getting a lot of the new students coming in and presenting themselves. The top 3 lists of what we see are primarily TB testing and a lot of immunizations. We do a lot of over-the-counter for upset stomachs, headaches, colds and flu. If they come in, for example, 3 times in a row, we'll then identify that they're having something that seems to be having a chronic nature to it, and we'll get them in to see me at that point. Also, urgent care, sprains, strains, lacerations. Again, we have a lot of people with respiratory infections, common accidents and ailments is what we see primarily in student health services. Thank you.
Hi everyone again, so I'm Dr. Amy Law. So as you can see on the slide and earlier in our video, we offer up to 6 sessions a semester. And some of you may ask what happens after that. So based on the clinical needs of a student, if they're not done with that, then we'll refer them and connect them to community resources. So what I would usually do on my team, we're also staffed by MSW and MFT student interns. So we would provide bridge care, which is basically stabilizing their care until they can go to someone that can see them on an ongoing basis. So these are just examples of some of the services we offer. And just on number sake as well, just to show you, for fall we had a total of 284 appointments. In spring 2016, 427, and here just recently, last fall, we have a total of 548 appointments. So the rate we're going, we're probably anticipating more appointments this coming spring as well. So just to emphasize, similarly, the top 3, anxiety, depression, and stress. For I know there's a lot of students here, so most of you can probably relate that those are some of the very common reasons that students would come in. And if you notice, we almost double our numbers from fall 2016 in comparison to fall 2015.
So in addition to providing primary care services and mental health services, we also do a lot with connecting students to resources available in the community, what we call our LBC Connects program. We've handed out to the board, and we'll provide additional copies for the audience in the back for you able to access as well. We've got some amazing resources. Long Beach in many ways is a very resource-rich community. It's navigating and finding those resources. That's the difficult part for students, and so that's where our focus really is. The LBC Connects utilizes our social work interns to really help provide some intensive support structure, some case management in helping students access resources in the community. So that includes an intake process with a basic needs assessment, looking at all of their needs, establishing a plan of where to find those resources, and then doing follow-up to ensure that students are accessing those resources. In starting this program in the fall, we were able to serve 50 students. We know that number will expand in the future as we're growing the program. As well as we provided you, and I'll talk a little bit in detail about a couple of them, but we provided you with 5 flyers, LBC Connect flyers that we'd be able to create for students that show a map of resources and additional information to access resources. So the ones I provided you were shelter and housing, showers, clothes, and furniture, food resources, low-cost dental care, and health and mental health services. We are currently creating additional flyers for child care and child support, victim compensation programs, legal services, government aid programs, and transportation. So we're about halfway through our current list of resource flyers. And I'm going to segue using the over-the-counter nutrition as we talk about a couple of our key areas that we see great need that we're responding to. So the first one is food insecurity. So we know that there are many students who struggle with getting enough food every day, especially as they're trying to focus on their studies and be successful in their classes. As Marianne mentioned, we provide over-the-counter nutrition. So we've really focused our efforts on ensuring that when a student's on campus, we can do all that we can do for them to remain engaged on campus. And so the over-the-counter nutrition provides them ready-made nutritious food that they can have right then and there in order to be able to continue their studies, to be successful on listening in class, taking tests, that component. we have been able to grow the program. So we started it in January 2016. In the spring of 2016, we saw 55 students. In the fall, we saw an additional 110. So we doubled. We expect that we'll see another increase this next year. Of the 110, it really speaks to probably closer to 500 contacts because the students are coming multiple times for that resource. When we find that a student is coming on a very frequent basis, then what we do is we pull them into our LBCC Connects program to help them identify resources that can provide broader food support for them, knowing that what we have in the over-the-counter really is to help them on campus in the moment. So looking at those resources, we've been very fortunate with having support from the college. So LBCC Auxiliary provided food gift cards for our students to be able to access food services on campus, on both campuses. The National Council of Jewish Women provided a $1,000 donation for both of our campuses to supplement our over-the-counter nutrition program. We have built the over-the-counter nutrition program into our ongoing budget as part of our student health fees to ensure that that program continues. The LBCC Student Homeless Task Force, and I want to thank Board President Dr. Baxter and Trustee Zia for their leadership in this work of doing food drives and also helping with food cards. The piece that we're trying to get to is where are the key services that we can access in the city. The Long Beach Multi-Service Center is where it's the point of contact for all the resources. And what we found is that the challenge with the Long Beach Multi-Service Center is that because they're the main hub, students have to wait hours to do the intake assessment process. So because we have an amazing team, we now have a partnership with Long Beach Multi-Service that allows us to do the intake process that then streamlines and fast-tracks students right into services. So that's a key service that we're able to provide. Another challenge that we found is that the reason why many students who are eligible for food stamps are not accessing them is because they have challenges completing the application. And so California State University Long Beach was approved for a SNAP application assistance, a food stamp application assistance program that with our partnership we're now allowed to access as well. So that will increase the number of students who are completing the application who are then eligible to receive those services. And then finally, we reach out to our local partners, so Christians Outreach and Action provide hot meals, and we have an agreement that we can reach out to them and send specific students to be served. What I want to show you, I brought myself a copy, you'll see, so a copy of the flyer that we have, and there's a little picture up there of this. But we've tried to do is really make this as user-friendly for students as possible. So on the front side, we list out by location every service, where every food service is available in the city. On the back, we then list out by day and meal what the service is. So if it's Tuesday afternoon and you're hungry, we can tell you exactly where you can go and then exactly where that is. So really trying to make this as user-friendly for students as they're trying to navigate these resources. The other piece that's really important, whenever we put together a flyer, we do not do cold searching. We call every single contact to ensure that the services are available and that our students can get priority, and then it goes on our list. So there's a lot of work behind this, making sure that these resources are available for our students. Another area of major concern is housing instability. We have done some research with our students, but a more comprehensive study was done in the CSUs, where they found approximately 10% of students struggle with housing instability. It's a difficult gray area because what you define by housing instability can be living in a hotel, it can be couch surfing, it can be or living in your car or on the street. So it's a very broad definition, which is why it's hard to get your arms around that. We've been, again, very fortunate with the resources and partnerships that we have in the area. So again, LBCC Student Homeless Task Force has done some initial work around emergency assistance, trying to address the need at the moment to help students move into housing. there's been some learning there, and I think that we'll continue to learn how to do that better moving forward. Again, the multi-service center is the main point of contact for housing for homeless, and so our ability to fast track students into those services. I want to come back to Project Self-Help. MHA, Mental Health Association Transition in Place, is a specific program for students 18 to 24 that have mental health needs that can provide housing. MHA also provides general housing for adults with mental health needs. Long Beach Rescue Mission, the Interval House, Sukasa. It's wonderful that the mayor at the State of the City announced that the winter shelter will now be moved to a year-round shelter for additional resources. One of the challenges that we find, and this is why I want to come back to Project Self-Help, one of the challenges that we find is that there are a lot of resources for housing for youth in LA County, but we work in a county system, so many of those resources are located in Los Angeles, not in Long Beach. So what's wonderful about Project Self-Help, it's a nonprofit organization that started in Venice, and what it does is it works with local landlords to identify rooms that can be double occupancy safe rooms with furnished, capped, so unchanging utilities for $500 a month. And drug-free, and they have the systems in place to do that. They started looking in Long Beach. We reached out to them, and so we've been supporting their growth of identifying places in Long Beach. And so they're going to continue to grow here, which we're really excited about, to have more spaces close to campus. And then finally, I want to mention the additional work we've been doing in basic needs. So health in general, and how do we help students access their resources? We've worked with with Long Beach Public Health, Emelina Healthcare, increasing the number of students who are accessing the insurance exchange and are getting services through the Affordable Care Act. We try to coordinate as much as we can with our local organizations. An example of that is the Mental Health America, Long Beach Mental Health, where we actually invite caseworkers from the Village and Long Beach Mental Health on campus so that they can be interacting with our students who are also residents of those programs to provide the additional support. We recently partnered with the YWCA to provide sexual assault crisis services. And that really is providing the trauma-informed care for students who are victims of sexual assault or intimate partner violence. And then, of course, the additional work with Twin Town Substance Abuse and other mental health providers that we have here. I'm excited. You'll see we had in development, but we were able to hand out tonight as a finished product our low-care dental health services and our health mental health services flyers. We recognize there's a lot of need for our students. There's the role of the college and what we can do. We're focused on our students achieving their academic goals, and there's a lot of life that happens along the way. The more that we can access the experts in our community, the more that we can connect into these existing resources, we are sure that the more that our students will have the support they need to be successful. So we're really excited about the opportunity tonight to talk about what we provide for primary care, for mental health services, and then for these connecting services for our students. And with that, we will open up to questions.